Joseph Parker, Daniel Dubois face-off was revealed by DAZN. Now, before I give my 2 cents on that, have a look there really, really quickly on screen. This weekend, we've Dalton Smith back in action, but we've got about 12 hours worth of boxing on this Saturday because Dalton Smith is in action, as is Diego Pacheco over in Las Vegas. And for a limited time, DAZN in the UK and the US are doing a flash sale. 30% people off an annual pass. Could be up to 200 quid a year, £200, $200, limited time only. And people, this offer ends on February 6th. Link will be in the comments and in the description. Let's talk boxing. So we had a tease of the Joseph Parker Daniel Dubois face-off. DAZN released about 7 and a bit minutes worth. And I had heard, in fact, because, well, Ade told me, he'd done the face-off. He told me a couple of weeks ago when we were at the press conference that he thought it would kick off. So I was thinking, this is going to be good. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be, when we see this face-off, it's going to be good. Now, obviously, you could tell this isn't the full version. I would imagine a lot of these go over 20 odd minutes. So we're probably going to get closer to fight date, the full version. But they gave us this little tease. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. You know, normally with these face-offs, although they have started incorporating more and more people into it. I know with Fury Usyk, the rematch, both guys, and you can't do it with this one, obviously, they haven't fought yet. But both guys watched their respective fights while doing it, which I really enjoyed that. I really thought that was a good idea. I enjoyed it thoroughly. That was a good idea. And then they did have their promoters and respective managers, in Alex Krasuk's case, in with them with the face-off. Now, I am very much old school. I like just the both fighters. Let's see. If you can't make much with them, tough, but let's just have both fighters if you're going to do it. It was a stroke of genius on the part of Team Dubois having Frank Warren in there, because Dubois, yeah, he put himself out there a few too many times, because the first thing that they were talking about, Ade brought it up actually, and of course Frank Warren straight away on the defense, when Ade mentioned that Daniel Dubois, is he overlooking Joseph Parker? Because, simple, he mentioned that while Ade was doing the interview with Alexander Usyk, a victorious Alexander Usyk, just say it again for the Fury fans, that he was interrupted and Daniel Dubois grabbed the mic and called out Alexander Usyk. And, you know, Frank Warren straight away, loads of fighters do it, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. So, because God knows if you ask Dubois that, God knows what he'd say. But it does lead people to believe that, yeah, he is looking over Joseph Parker, that he is thinking it's a formality. And Daniel Dubois, there's a few things he did say was that, Joseph Parker's time is gone, it's his time now. Well, not necessarily true. Joseph Parker, he's been around a long time, but he started very early in the pro game anyway. He was world champion by the time he was I don't even think he was in his mid-20s. He might have been about 24 years old, maybe even a bit younger. So, and, it's not even been 10 years yet. So he's about, how old is Parker? 33, 34? Thereabouts? No, he's not even that old. He's about 33, 32. So he's not the oldest heavyweight by no stretch of the imagination. And he is starting to develop things, some decent things under Andy Lee. The one thing Andy Lee spoke about, which I don't necessarily know if it's going to be a strength or not, I don't know if it'll be a strength against Dubois, is that he's building Joseph Parker up in a sense of he's making his, body mass greater, not in terms of fat, but just weights, everything. And he says he can feel more power. Listen, if I had a nickel for every time I heard a trainer say, well, this fighter is now heavier, so he's going to be hitting harder, I wouldn't be living in Stratford, I'd be living in Westminster, I'd be living in Knightsbridge, if that was the case. If I had a nickel or a quid for every time I heard that. I don't like it. I've never seen it work. You see fighters who, because they were draining themselves, or even a heavyweight, Tyson Fury is a good example, trying to get down to a lower weight than his body is able to, yeah, there will be a bit of weakness. But he didn't pack on any weight. He just didn't focus on, shifting weight. He just fought as he is, and he was fine. I don't like it when you unnecessarily start adding the weight on. I don't think it'll work. Andy Lee mentioned that. He also mentioned to Daniel Dubois what happened in the Alexander Usyk fight. You were dropped by a jab, to which Dubois didn't answer. It was Frank Warren who answered that, and we know why. No, we don't, Frank. Please enlighten us. And it was Dubois knows what was going on in his head when that happened. And very unwisely, Daniel Dubois went to Joseph Parker and said, you're done. Look what happened against you and Joe Joyce. Mate, All right. Now, Joseph Parker said he was sick, allegedly. Look, a lot of fighters will make excuses. Triple G, when he fought Kell Brook, had the flu. All right, so a lot of fighters have fought sick and won. And some fighters, you know, look, if he was sick, he was sick. I don't know, but I just think looking at that fight, I don't think it would have mattered. But nevertheless, he went 11 rounds. I will take into consideration Dubois had an injury. He did. We don't know what he was feeling. But at the end of the day, Parker went around more with you. Granted, you were injured, you had an eye injury, fair enough, take that into consideration. But mate, that was a bad move on your part. You lost to Joe Joyce too. You know, you did. A fresher Joe Joyce. Although saying that, you know, it was the Zhang fights that really did it for Joe Joyce, to be fair. But those were little things. Mainly, it was just back and forth, really. As I said, it's going to be interesting to see the full unedited. Well, it will be edited, but the full, you know, lengthy version. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm really, really excited, and I'm really looking forward to that particular one. Now, in terms of everything else, again, you know, we could see there's needle there. You know, Joseph Parker. I think, what did he say to Daniel Dubois? I'm going to beat you smart. I mean, Joe Parker's on point with the jokes, isn't he? You know, Daniel. And Dubois just, you know, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. But Joseph Parker, to end the face-off, when Daniel Dubois was saying, you know, this, that, and the other, and they were going at it a bit by the end, Joseph Parker uttered the famous words to Daniel Dubois, "You talk too much." Does he really? But yeah, interesting. Like I said, there's not much you can really. I do think Dubois to me looked the more confident of the two. That's not to say Joseph Parker is not confident. I'm sure he is. But with Dubois, you could argue maybe there's an element of overconfidence there, because they did mention, you know, what happens. And here's the thing as well that Andy Lee kept talking about. And I get it. You will do this as a trainer, and you'll probably do it as a fighter, where you look at a fighter like Daniel Dubois and you've seen him capitulate before, and you think, oh, he can do it again. But what these fighters fail to remember is it's not as simple as you going in there, you're putting it on him like that, and he's capitulating. It takes a lot to get there. You know, with Alexander Usyk, he did eventually break Daniel Dubois down. It took him 9 rounds, and he's significantly better, right? It's not as straightforward as, you know, look, Otto Wallin. Oh, AJ's mentally shot. Okay, well, how are you going to exploit that then? You know? That's all well and good. How do you plan on exploiting that? I didn't think that far ahead. Of course you didn't. You know? So don't just put all your eggs in that basket. Yeah, Dubois has capitulated before in the past, but against Jarrell Miller, that fight was getting tough. That fight, he had tough moments in there. He stayed true. He stuck through it, and he stopped them. Hrgovic, he's getting lit up early on. Didn't phase him. Stuck with it, stayed true, rode out the storm. There is a lot more will there that we've seen in the past, so don't put all your eggs in one basket, Team Parker. Dubois, as I said, looked confident, so I'm looking forward to the full unedited version of this, the longer version. It's going to be a real interesting watch. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button. Real interesting to know if you've seen it yet and what you think. I hope you enjoyed it, people. Until next time, peace.